All right. Doing a little test here. Yo, Vingel, a regular in chat. Good to see you, buddy. Just doing a little test here. Just for you. This is your exclusive test. I'm checking to see because I was watching the last episode with Thomas and I noticed I wasn't using my mic, and I haven't been, to tell you the truth. But I'm going to start using it. And just tell me in chat if it sounds better. So like if I'm talking like this, it's like right in my face. It's like a gun pointed at me. It's like a weapon. How does that sound? Does that sound clear? Danielle, thank you. Thank you, Danielle. Me and Bryce were just talking about you, man. No. We were nice things. Yo, shout out. Yeah, man, yeah. I think Fresno is the fentanyl capital of America. We got this billboard near my university spreading awareness. And so there was also a Vice documentary about how we may be the heroin capital too. So Bulldogs represent. Yeah. I'm really starting to feel the JD Vance. The JD Vance sympathy. There's a show of never mind. Forget it. I already forget it, so might as well just skip that. In a good way, Danielle, in a good way. Yeah, I just want to do this stream. I want to test, if I'm moving around, does that interfere with the audio? Can you guys hear me at every angle? Just curious. If you guys can't hear the content, that sort of defeats the purpose. So I also wanted to talk, if any more people come in, we got Oros in chat. What's going on, buddy? Talking to you on the timeline today. Thank you, man. Haven't been on the timeline in a while, so to open up my notifications and see my buddy Oros, my fellow Texas friend. Next time I'm in Texas, man, you gotta take me to Whataburger. I was talking about with my friend from Georgia. He was asking me about it. I haven't eaten there, as far as I know. So you got to tell me: is the hype worth it? Is it cringe? Are the Texas heads coping and seething? You gotta let me know, big guy, because I'm a West Coaster. Okay, I got a lot. I got In-N-Out. I got Fat Burger. But I don't got Whataburger, so I'm kind of in the dark. You're going to have to help me out here. So, please, by all means. Yeah, I think this mic is ready for backflips. I think we're good on that front. Wait, what? We'll take you to Whataburger and then we'll get it approved. Oh, man. Thank you, Oros. I appreciate the invitation. Yeah, man. I'm in Yeah, that is true. I am from California. It's rough out here, okay? You can imagine. The stereotypes are true. Oh, nice. Thank you, Daniel. That's a perfect test. Yeah, if it works on your phone, low battery, okay. I think we figured it out, so that's good to hear. Awesome, awesome. Well, so thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you I'll see you guys. No, but, yeah, we'll go for a little bit here. I just saw Batman again with some friends, and in my Batman review on the channel, I was pretty ambivalent. Overall, I was positive, but I had this melancholy vibe walking out of the theater. That's not how I wanna feel. I wanna have a firm opinion about the movie. You shouldn't have to go to Rolling Stone magazine or any of these movie reviewers to tell you what to think. It does help you contextualize the content, but I want to have an organic feeling towards the movie, and for that one, I was just on the fence to tell you the truth. I What I really liked was Robert Pattinson. I liked the type of Batman he was going with, especially the Bruce Wayne character. I really liked that. And throughout the movie, I think the first time I noticed that he was a lot more vulnerable. I don't think I mentioned that in the review, but I noticed when he talked to Falcone asking about the family business, I noticed he was pretty vulnerable. And when he was asking Alfred about what was it? Oh, asking about the Falcone update that he got, he also was kind of in the dark, not fully confident like the Christian Bale Batman. So I was trying to pay attention to stuff like that to see, am I just going into this? I want to get like a firm opinion because I didn't like that weird feeling I got after the first time. So this one was a lot more positive. I have a lot I can with more confidence give my support than just say, "Yeah, I thought it was pretty good." I still think the fact that we didn't spend enough time with Catwoman and the Penguin, that was the biggest downfall. The fact that the Riddler was the main villain, I think that was a detriment. I know the meme of it is kinda people are kinda supportive, but I still don't think that I still think that that's why I didn't like the movie the first time was because I just don't think that the crazy villain. I like Paul Dano, but I don't really like that kind of delivery, and, it's just a very, like, out of touch type villain, in my opinion. So, maybe they're saving the Penguin for next time. That's another thing I noticed the second time around. One of the last shots in the ending, I'm not gonna spoil it, but you see the Penguin in a very dramatic scene and looking out into the city. So, I think that's a hint he's gonna be coming back. I hope so, 'cause I love that character. I like it a lot more than Riddler. So that was the other thing too, is when I was trying to come up with a reason, okay, I feel weird about the first viewing. Why? Well, all I can think of to say is all the positive things I like about the movie. So maybe it was just me. Maybe it was just me wanting too much, me getting greedy about what I want out of this Batman movie. The second time, it felt a lot more smoother. I wasn't constantly, because one of the things I said mostly in my review was I was in this constant waiting phase before the iceberg scene with Catwoman going undercover. I was constantly waiting for an event to happen, and that's sort of the wrong approach. You can't go into Batman wanting something. It's a moody piece. It's an emotional type story. And so if you've ever watched David Lynch movies, if you're looking for structure, if you're looking for point A to point B, that's not really what this is. It's more of a character study. This is also 2 years of Batman being around Gotham. So he's not Dark Knight where he knows everything. And I like that, it's a lot more because Bruce Wayne in the Christopher Nolan movies, even though everyone hypes it, the Bruce Wayne character is like the establishment. He's the rich guy. He's an oligarch, basically. And in this one, there's a scene where someone running for mayor goes up to Bruce Wayne and she tells him, "You haven't been in public recently, and your family has a lot of philanthropy in the history. So shouldn't you be like a public figure?" And Bruce Wayne is very. A couple minutes before that, he he's like facing away from the people taking pictures of him. He doesn't want to be that kind of a spectacle. So there you go. That's a nice change. And that shift, I think, is important from the Christopher Nolan movies because in that one, it feels like Batman is invincible. I'm not really the stakes aren't that high for Batman as far as, "Oh my gosh, what's going to happen?" It's a lot more, I think, in Dark Knight Rises, but in The Dark Knight, I don't really think anybody's afraid that that Batman's ever in danger. In this one, you see him as a very human kind of zoomer energy coming from Batman. So that's sort of my updated reaction to Batman after seeing it again. I think people should see it again if they were ambivalent the first time around, because I was. Maybe that's just me, though. I'm a little disappointed in myself that I didn't get that in the first viewing. I knew instinctively like this movie's going in the direction I want, and that's why I'm pretty confident if there's going to be more that I mean, there's a possibility like they could overdose in the sequels, but they get everything right the first time and then they have difficulty holding it up. So that could happen, but I know that they got the tone right. The tone was a lot better. I was more positive towards the gritty 70s style New York vibe, even though it's supposed to be like a Chicago setting. The first time I watched it, I was like, "Oh, we're gonna do this again. This is like a trope at this point." Anyone on our side of Twitter, we make that meme about the Ryan Gosling movies. He's literally me, but this time around, I was a lot more sympathetic to it. So feel a lot better. Feel a lot better. Yo, Oros has got it. Yeah. Penguin is based, Riddler is not. Exactly, man. And it's like, dude, Colin Farrell, perfect, perfect role for that. I think I was reading a review like, if you're gonna put so much makeup on the guy, why not just cast somebody who looks like that, dude? Really? So, but I like that it's a Robert De Niro ripoff. I like it's an Italian mob character. It's like a Sopranos character. What? How am I not supposed to like that? So, I was also kind of curious what you guys thought about that academic agent debate from last week. Kind of wanted to throw that on you guys to see, create a conversation. I want this to be like my comment section. I want this to be like a channel to get out any takes because I was watching that just a few minutes before going live, and interesting stuff. You know, it is through the infighting that we sort of learn our path forward. So I thought that was interesting. If anybody's got anything to say, I'm just giving you guys the floor here. I got to catch up with your comments though, because I'm yo, Jonathan Paul. Good to see you again, man. Thank you for coming on the stream. I saw you were egging me on to come back. That's kind of rude. Are you supposed to invite yourself back like that? No, that was an interesting tweet. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, man. You were pretty cool to talk to the first time. So pretty cool. All right. Let me see. Let me go back because thank you, Pappas. Thank you, Danielle and Vingul. You guys are all helping me out with the audio check. Appreciate it. Hagbard. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're also the car gift that. Whoa, Pappas, are you from around here? Hey, man. Might have to reach out after the show. I know the billboard you're talking about. That's pretty funny. Yo, let's go. Let's go. Try having the mic further away. Yeah, let me, because I'm trying to think like when I have Thomas on, am I gonna have it in frame? Like if I do this, Here, we'll test that as I'm reading your guys' stuff. Maybe I don't know. That seems pretty strange. Maybe I do have to have it kind of close. What's going on, big guy? Captain Steel, thank you for asking. Yeah, a bit of an updated Batman review, I guess, and then we'll see what you guys think about that AA. That AA debate. Since you guys, thanks to AA for shouting us out, and that's probably where a lot of you guys originate. So, just want to run that by you guys. Remember exiting the cinema after The Dark Knight, feeling pumped. Yeah, see, that's the feeling you should have, Vingle. And so I just wanted to correct that for this second viewing. Nolan basically shaved modern mainstream direction. That's interesting. Yeah, well, like Man of Steel is definitely ripping off that aesthetic. So I guess, hey, what's good, Razor Fist? Not much, Charles. Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys want to talk about Razor Fist? A friend of mine has been making me think about some of his takes. And okay, sorry. All right, so the chat is what was the debate? If you go to Academic Agent's YouTube channel and you go to, I think it's called Clear Them Out, is the title, but it seems like it's longer than that. So I think if you go to one of his more recent videos, I think it's like a 4-hour video. It's interesting discussion about how we should talk about the elite. You know, Academic Agent has a background in elite theory, and he's a bookworm, as are probably you guys too. Hey, Ace, do you like that song Worst Stars from '85? Yeah, I like that song. I liked a lot of the people on that, including Ingve. I think Don Dawkins on that too, right? Yeah, that's a good song. Oh, Pappas. Oh, okay. Yo, what's up, man? Sorry. I didn't mean to. I get a little carried away. My bad, man. My bad. Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you. Whoops. Yeah, Razorfist needs to teach me how to keep these aviators on. Thank you, Craig. Razorfist. Thoughts on Scott? Scott's a cool dude. Scott's who introduced me. Well, I watched his podcast with Thomas, and then I reached out to Thomas. So, got to thank Scotty for that. I mean, yeah, I don't know if I would have ever found Thomas because I wasn't really in the BAP sphere. So I don't know how I could have gotten on board. Who's that other guy? The Nicola, the guy who does the Substack interviews. I don't know. Maybe I would have, but I don't know if I would have found his writing through that. So it's just one of those things. Yeah. So I was talking to a friend of mine who has been making videos recently because the process of listening to albums and then editing them and then ranking them, it's a bit of a hassle. So to connect that with Razor Fist, from what I hear, because I'm not a consistent viewer like I used to be. Apparently, Razor Fist doesn't do Metal Mythos and Film No Archives because the copyright. So he wouldn't be able to show clips and samples of songs. But I mean, if you've ever visited the channel Sea of Tranquility, I just think that this format of just talking directly to you guys, I feel like that cuts through a lot of the technical stuff. To me, this is what really matters, you know. Other YouTubers seem to be doing the same thing recently or in the past year or so. So or so. I don't think that that's I don't think that's a good reason to not continue a series. You could just, you know, and Razor's got a good camera. He's got a good visual. He could still do that and talk about albums. He could pull up the albums like he does sometimes. So he could still do the series. I don't think you really got to go all out with the. I know that that's kind of part of the brand, but I mean, uh, is that necessary? I think we're really interested in the takes. No. Oh, what do we got here? I just got a text message from Thomas. Excuse me. Thomas making a surprise appearance on the show. Sit tight, Ace. We can definitely. It sounded like Thomas was about to go on. Could you imagine that? These things are falling off, man. I remember Thomas was saying he can't sport aviators because it just doesn't look right on his face. I don't know if you guys agree. I was also pretty interested in your guys' opinion on uh, Thomas going off on the Beatles. It's pretty consistent with that. I wasn't expecting such a consistent thread. Yeah. What's up, Vingol? Yeah, man, this is the kind of content you want, right? Just me going about doing behind the scenes stuff. Of course, of course. I love the Beatles, man. Ain't nothing gonna change that. Yeah, yeah. I'm not totally anti-Beatles, but I didn't grow up with them. That's the thing. Let me pull up Thomas here. So you guys aren't just looking at my aviators. Just so we have some context. Oh man. Yeah, look at this. Oh, Lucho. Yeah, I just saw I got a notification for that. Yeah, I recognize you, buddy. All right, here we go. So for those that don't know, Thomas, not a fan of the Beatles, it sounds like, based on what I've read. Yeah, the Beatles are a weird band for me because I've always thought that was a band made for children. And he is right. They are a boy band, technically, at least in the early incarnation, definitely. But the fact that they went into the psychedelic scene and they're pandering to the hippies, and so that's their constituency. I don't know. That is like kind of sellout stuff, no? Putting aside the technicality of the musicianship, I just think that kind of, arc is a little suspicious, and that makes me more sympathetic to the other, like the 70s bands that were heavier than Boston, and a lot of the soft rock, AOR, contrasting with Elton John and David Bowie. It makes the Beatles look like they're just kind of going with the flow. Although, there is heavy stuff like She's So Heavy on Abbey Road. Stuff like that is, you know, I'm going to be constantly fumbling with these things. So because they weren't a band that I grew up with, I'm not really too sympathetic to them. I feel like I don't really have a dog in the fight, even though they're so mainstream. It's hard to avoid them. They just weren't a band that I had a big stake in. I got into music through Van Halen, Ozzy, so I kind of skipped them. But I went back and listened to that stuff and wasn't really wasn't really against it. So I like the meme. I like the strong feelings towards the Beatles. And that is interesting, the Wolfman Jack take where the rock and roll used to be Eddie Cochran, Elvis, Richie Valens, and then the British invasion happens. This Anglo influence makes it onto the Ed Sullivan Show, and now everybody loves British rock. Everybody, mainstream audiences are going towards the Stones, the Kinks, and it's like, what happened to the Southern? What happened to the good old boys from the flyover states? It just seems like it's kinda like the in the '90s, MTV went from metal to grunge. It's like mainstream media did a switch and said, "This is the new fad." And if you're from San Francisco, that's probably your bag, but and because a lot of the history is told in a sympathetic way towards the big cities, all the popular culture there, you can imagine there's still some people who are like, "Wait a second, man, I was spinning Elvis records." And then these British blokes are over here stealing the spotlight from our American stars. They couldn't even it didn't even matter how big they were in the UK. If you wanted to be a musician, you had to make it in the States. So it's literally a foreign influence. So again, a bit of a, as someone said, a bit of a contrarian take, but no, it's I like some Beatles songs. And the fact that John Lennon was such a character by himself, that's probably enough to discredit a lot of their legacy anyway, so I hear you. I hear what you guys are saying. Anyways, that's about all the content I got ready for you guys right now. I was Since we got like 19 people here, let me ask this. Oscar Toe, good to see you, big guy. I just want to throw this out there just to hear what you guys think. If you guys don't like the idea, by all means, call me cringe. Would you guys be interested in me doing like reviewing a video game franchise from a Gen Z perspective, kind of in the way I do the music stuff through like a historic lens? I want to really dive into like the storyline of franchises like Dead Rising, Resident Evil, probably GTA. I feel like we talk a lot about movies on the channel and other people do the same thing. I just think the video game storylines like Red Dead Redemption, LA Noire, people don't really treat those like what me and Paul Fahrenheit were talking about with Prude. The the American, well, it's not all American, but the video game storylines, I would like to put that in the same league as some movies. So I know it's a bit of a consumer thing, but would you guys watch that? Would you guys sit through that, or would that be just something that I'm doing for myself? Because when I was younger, I would geek out over all the cut scenes, and I was the type of person that would watch the cutscenes like they were movies, and so I got a lot of memories of getting into that stuff. So I'm just curious what if you guys would watch that, or if that's literally just a personal preference for me. All right, sure. The Last of Us, not really, to be honest, but I appreciate you nonetheless. Silent Hill. See, I'm kind of in the dark with Silent Hill. I played the second one. Third one I got stuck on. So What do you guys think? Okay, Oscar's in. That's pretty cool. I'd watch whatever you would do. This channel is comfy. Thank you, Brotherhood of Not. I appreciate it. Like produce videos or live streams. See, that's the thing. It's gonna be live streams, okay? Is that a little too low budget? I kind of like what we got going on, and unless you can find based Anon to help me with some editing, then I'm kind of curious who that guy is. Is he on Twitter or anything? So that's kind of the thing. I got my video games over here, and just curious what thoughts on Portal. I didn't play it. Did not play Portal, so that's the thing. More movie streams too. Okay, Duke Nukem. Yeah, Duke Nukem's a weird one because that's like Gen X crossing over into the Zoomers with that newest one. So I don't know. I really want to, that Gamergate era is so precious because from like from like 2000 from like 2008 to 12, you have that untampered with video game industry where video game critics aren't giving people a hard time. Political topics in storylines aren't ham-fisted. Everything's giving a fair hearing, like we've talked about with Fallout, New Vegas. You could have more imagination with a lot of the directions. And obviously after Gamergate, that's when you start to get the decline of the video game industry and really everything, politics and pop culture. So maybe I'm just nostalgic because I missed that era. I remember being on Twitter and seeing someone would do the hashtag Gamergate, and I didn't know what that was. I would just see it, and I'm like, what is that? And I didn't even wasn't even curious to investigate that kind of a thing. And so I've always feel like I missed the boat with seeing that stuff live. And I just think with everybody going all in on political theory, philosophy, I feel like that front is covered. There's a lot of people doing that. And so because on here we focus on pop culture, Gen Z stuff, I think the video game storylines, that's another untapped market. And then also we got to do a greatest hits throwback to the Gamergate days, man. That's when our side of the internet was growing to fruition. Those are the early seeds that grew into this, you know, Twitter, Anon, just I don't even know what to describe it. It's literally it's like a new world. So, anyways, that just throwing out some loose thoughts, speaking out loud here. And N64 was peak. Yo, let's go. Let's go. Video game lore could be cool. Yeah, and by the way, Prude, the Prudentialist, me and my good buddy Paul Fahrenheit, who is a cool dude. He is we're talking about Fallout New Vegas on that Substack stream. If you go to the Prude Substack, we're talking Fallout New Vegas. So I want to plug that here. And so I guess just since then really is when I've kind of stayed on this topic. So that's what got me there. Yeah, the sun is still out. Yo, Captain Steel with $1.99. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Hey, big guy, what do you think of the Beach Boys? I think the Beach Boys are pretty cool. Pet Sounds. What's that album's The Smile Session? I got to get into that. I'm kind of in I have a similar take as what I said about the Beatles. They're just one of those bands that was in the background. I wasn't anti them. I remember this Twitter account I used to follow. He would constantly say how he doesn't understand the hype of Behind the Beach Boys. I think that that's like the most authentic California sound. The wall of sound. I think they deserve credit. It seems like I see them put up against the Beatles sometimes, and I would have to side with the Beatles, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, Beach Boys harmonizing. You guys know I like Van Halen, so sort of the beginning of harmonizing. How can I throw shade on that? So true, so true. I'm currently playing Fallout 1 for the first time. I never played Fallout 1. Yeah, I started with 3. I guess 3 is another one I could. Yeah, 3 is another one I could get into the story. Although I don't think that that's as deep as New Vegas. So yeah, okay, yeah. I think you're right, Oscar. That's a pretty good way of saying it. Probably be like a 30-ish minute video. And again, because it's Gen Z, that means I'm probably not going to go through all of the. I wasn't planning on doing all of the games. I was just going to do that window of time, 2008 to like 2012, because I didn't play like Dead Rising 3, and then you got all this stuff later on. Resident Evil, obviously they're ramping that up again, but again, it's like after the Gamergate era. So I want to focus on that window of time. There's a lot of dude. There's so much like stuff that went over my head, and I might even do that thing where I don't know if you guys do this. Do you ever like someone will make a video where it's all of the video games cutscenes like a movie? And I haven't done that in a long time, but I might get back into that thanks to Prude and Paul Fahrenheit. So I'm pretty nostalgic for like Machinima. You guys remember Machinima? And it wasn't just a channel. If you were gonna make like a movie in a video game, that is also a machinima. It doesn't have to be exclusively from that channel. So, oh man, that's taking me back, man. That might be why I'm so interested in movies now and this like cinematic perspective. Because back then, like GTA 4 machinimas, you would you would get used to the same camera angles. Like for example, if you had a game where you could switch from first person to third person, you memorize what like parts of the map look like and what your character looks like when he's doing all this stuff. When you had machinimas, you could move the camera wherever you wanted. You could move it above you, like an old, like 90s game or whatever. Like the early GTA games where the camera was above you. You could literally make video games into your own world. And so it's that type of freedom and imagination really ran rampant in the machinima days. I don't know if you guys remember. This is back when I used to watch like Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter. Oh man. What was it? It was like Jeff, Brown Man. What is it? Ray, Michael. I remember when the Minecraft Let's Play on Achievement Hunter. I remember when that I was watching those when they came out, like within a week of each other. Dude, I don't know if that's just me though. Am I unlocking some memories here? Dude, Rooster Teeth. Do you remember they would do like a weekly update? I guess this is like Democracy Now with Amy Goodman. This is like the video game version of that. I never really got into that scene, that crowd, Democracy Now, but obviously the title's very cringe too. But yeah, the you would have like Jeff or Jack would usually host those are like my favorite guys on the channel, and they would talk about the upcoming games coming out, and hey, E3's coming soon, and like this week on the channel, you can catch Ray trying to unlock this achievement. This one's gonna do a walkthrough over here. Oh man, that's going back for sure. So yeah. Anyway, sort of sort of bringing back those Zoomer memories. Yeah, that's another Brotherhood of Nod. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Razor really he does the arcade series, which maybe I should check those out. Maybe he gives his takes since he's getting super chats, right? I remember I remember someone I this was pretty based. Somebody asked him, what do you think about what is it, Nick Offerman from The Office? He's like the conservative caricature on the show. I don't watch the show, so I'm like a boomer. I don't know that or 30 Rock or all those other shows that everyone knows, Parks and Rec. I never got into that stuff besides when they showed it in school. And I remember somebody asked Razor, "What do you think of Nick Offerman?" And he's like, "I don't like the character, and I don't like the show, and blow me." And that's how he ended the episode. It was probably like a 2-hour episode of him playing video games, and that's the note he ends it on. So yeah, Razor has his moments. He's got his he talks politics on there too, since he's just chilling. All right, Brian. Yeah, yeah. That might be a good resource. That might be where I can siphon a lot of I'm like undercover listening in on what he thinks. If the CIA created Hendrix, they were masterminds. Yeah, that's funny, huh? I know in these circles we like to ask, where does the CIA influence begin and end when it comes to pop culture? The fact that the 60s was a psyop and all these bands getting popular, like we were talking about with the Beatles, the mainstream attention shifted to you got to listen to the Beatles, you should listen to the Stones. And so if all of that is fake and not organic, then that means that some of the more talented aspects of the 60s culture like Hendrix, that means the CIA came up with that stuff. So I don't know, man. That's kind of interesting. Maybe the CIA has some good chops. Maybe they really know. Maybe they're not just ahead on the technology front. They can adapt those skills to distorted guitars and amps, Marshall stacks. Like maybe what's his name? Leo Fender? Maybe hey, they gave him the tools. Hey man, you give this to the young kids, they're gonna go crazy. Go for it, man. No, 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 man. They're when this tour goes around the states, believe me, this will be a fad soon enough. So see, that's like a conspiracy you can bring up to normal people. Just be like, hey, by the way, David McGowan. Hey, check out hey, that's kind of weird. All these public figures just kind of came from the same scene and they all kind of made it. That's interesting. Just some food for thought. I don't know, man. Danielle, do you want to come on the show? I'm running out of material and you might be able to get things going here. I didn't expect this to go this long. I just wanted to test the audio for goodness sakes. For the sake of goodness. Anyway, if you're still here, Danielle, it's been a while. Remember last time we were talking about the Powerpuff Girl remake. Very relevant topic. Pretty underreported topic. Razor Fist might be a psyop to turn us into Lolberts. Maybe, you know? Well, it's one of those things, like, when you just see random people enter the scene online, and they're just telling people to do this, do that, it's like, "Well, who are you? What's going on here?" Yeah, I don't get it, man. It's because Razor Fist doesn't have an incentive to change the format, that's the thing. You know, for me to want him to for him to be like us, that's like going up to your friend and being like, "No, but my music's better." So, I don't know. I would just like him on a panel with people like us, just to see him, you know? He did that one debate, and then he never did a debate again. So, it would be kinda nice. He also made fun of blood sports. He said blood sports wasn't very productive. Blood sports was just a bunch of people on the internet arguing. And it's like, dude, me watching blood sports woke me up to more political stuff than probably anything I learned in school or any book I was ever gonna stumble onto before that. Well, I mean, not most books, or not all books, I should say. But yeah, it's just weird. Razor and Sargon it's kind of the same thing where they're kind of stuck in the classical liberalism phase. They're aware of the right wing base, but they don't have to pander to anybody outside of the normie base because it's the normie base that's giving them the views, and people like us they probably see as like, a fraction of the audience. So I just don't want to see Ayn Rand quotes on the Twitter timeline. Okay, I don't think I'm asking a lot here. Okay, you would think, I don't know, man. Does he drop like philosophy takes? That would be another thing. Even though the philosophy's been kind of overdone. Like I said, that's a guy who kind of needs to read more versus people on our side who read a lot and it gets like boring. Not boring all the time. Or I shouldn't say boring, but it's like, I don't know. For a guy who is on the internet constantly, I would expect him to want to, you know, go up to the buffet counter and try out other stuff, other audiences. So, anyways, Vinigal, no, I don't think he does. Well, I mean, the Brooklyn John, that's like AA talking about how many famous people come from Brooklyn. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if that pattern is like, if it goes that deep. I mean, you're going to see a lot of celebrities originate from the cities. And because New York has such a big population, invariably that's where the spring should happen. So, the LA being like an entertainment city, hey, that's where all the entertainers are. So it's one of those things like the Beatles having to go to America to get big. It's like that's like actors who were born in the South, but they move elsewhere to get gigs. It's probably along that logic. Anyways, yo, Danielle, invitation's open, man. Danielle, I need your takes on the show for the sake of the audience listening to me ramble. Yeah, the that does look weird. Should I don't know. Does that look better? Is that like too bright? There was that one video I did that was like It was like 4 o'clock, and it was so bright behind me. See, I kinda see that now. I don't know if that looks better. Anyways, was post-punk a psyop? Probably. That was probably a psyop. What is this channel about? House of Comments asks. This is a channel for Zoomers. This is a channel for me and Thomas mostly talk about political topics, movies, music. He is Gen X, I'm Gen Z. I think he's Gen X. And it's sort of we're trying to create our own space within the online right where you have a lot of philosophy channels, you got a lot of political theory, and in this channel it's mostly focused on pop culture. So I think that's an untapped market. And so I would like to talk about video game storylines from a Gen Z right wing perspective. And moving forward, me and Thomas are constantly talking about conservatism and history, American history, and we watch a lot of movies, and so that comes up, and looking at it through that lens is very interesting. And so you need a I need a big like I don't have TikTok. I've avoided that gracefully. So I uh I think I'm doing okay. I think that's helping my life. Sargon can do philosophy aside from Razor, but I think Razor may be more interesting due to discussing music. See, that's the thing. That's kind of the trick when you have YouTubers who do everything, it makes you think like they know everything. And it's like, no, this person just is tapping into all the markets. And so they're a good businessman. It's a good marketing strategy. So that's one of the things like before I really got into politics, I was gullible and I was persuaded enough by YouTubers, but over time you start to see the flaws. When you see like two different YouTubers debate, you can kind of see that dynamic unfold. But before that, you kind of see everything isolated, and so you don't really have the proper context to debunk. All right, Danielle, you're stalling here. Okay, I'm inviting you on. I'm giving you the guest of honor treatment, and I think technically you were on the show before it even started one time. I don't know if I that was probably a test stream with Bryce, but I don't know. I'm so bored. Um, I'm probably gonna call it since we've been rambling for too long. Yeah, I want to make sure I didn't miss any questions. Thomas recently described himself as something like a content creator who specializes in history. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Oscar Toe says, Ace, I'm in bed right now. Oh, all right. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, what time is it over there in Canada? Oh, dude, another person I wanted to get on the show is he just answered my DM. All right, hold up. I got to show my friend. I'm going to send my friend the link. It's 10 p.m. in my part of Canada. All right, all right. I'll let you do your thing. Let me show a friend of mine who I would like to get on the show, but I'm not sure. Since All right. Sorry for the stalling. Oh man, there's a this is kind of good timing. There's a cool Twitter space right now. I don't know if you guys follow. What's this guy's name? That Fincher guy. I don't know that guy's full background. So Fincher King 64 on Twitter. He's in a Twitter space, basically talking about the main theme on this show. So we'll probably split in a second here. Um. Am I getting called out in the chat? I might have to get going here since my cover's been blown. Wait a second. Wait a second. Ace is an 18-year-old time traveler from the 80s sent by the CIA to subvert the Zoomers. So true. So true. No, man, you got me. Yeah, that's where all the lore comes from. That's where all the backstory comes from. I'm an MK Ultra victim. They've implanted random trivia from 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and they have my mission: start a YouTube channel, collect donations, get all that super chat money, put it right into a Bitcoin account, send it to an office in the middle of Knox. What is it? Fort Knox. Yep. No, you got it, man. You got it. See you later, big guy. Yo, later, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for stopping by. Wasn't my intent in saying that, just referring conversation wise. I do got a jet, but peace, y'all. Oh, Brian, what were you talking about? Sorry. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. No. I hear you. I mean, he's probably not here anymore, but yeah, no. Yeah, the fact that Razor talks about music and politics, it's like, yeah, that doesn't mean automatically he's right, of course. But it's one of those things where that's where a lot of us come from, like how I imagine a lot of people came from the Sargon world. They probably stumbled onto that channel, and it's just it's a way of getting into, it's like a starting point. Yeah, when you see, yeah, Charles, yeah, the debates, the blood sports, man. Watching blood sports, that's the real litmus test. Who can hold their own? Who's got the most of the time. Maybe sometimes the wrong person loses, or people are compelled by certain arguments. Do Zoomers read? You could review books too. See, I kind of throw that in the same category as the philosophy and the political theory. I don't know. Do you guys want to hear me read? Would you guys watch that? That would probably be the least viewed videos on the channel. Use the super chat money to buy hot dogs. All right. Okay. Okay. Dude, you guys, man, you guys are read a book to us on stream. Yeah, what do I got right here? Yeah, I don't know. I got my book for my class right next to me. It's it just keeps getting more cringe, which makes the homework pretty easy, because that's why you guys got to go to college. It's easy. It would be like if you it's like writing an essay on, some of the other YouTubers that you guys check out, like Academic Agent. It's like, this is easy. We do this in our spare time, so that's why it's not a drag to go to college. You can easily debunk this stuff, play it close to the chest. All right, all right. Yeah, Charles, like you said, yeah, Sargon was the entryway to better content creators. Yeah, that's the thing. Like with Razor, I think you could probably start with that and then get into graduate, pretty much. That might not be a good way since he's going to be telling you like Ayn Rand quotes and boomer takes. So it actually that actually might be a subversive thing. All right, I think I'm gonna bounce. I feel like I'm boring you guys to tears. Yeah, Oscar. So well, I mean, if you can get like a good deal and you can get like a good job out of it, that's what I mean. But no, I hear you, Oscar. I hear the critique. It's just you just gotta. A lot of people, I think, could benefit from college compared to if they didn't. Peace. Yeah, thanks, Pyramid Head. Thank you, man. Thank you. We love you, Ace. Thank you, Papist. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get going. Yeah. Thank you, Brotherhood. All right, all right. Thank you, Papist, Pyramid Head, Oscar Toe, Brotherhood of Nod. What else we got? Oh, oh, thanks, Brotherhood. Thank you. Uh, Trouble Armstrong. That's funny. Danielle. Who else did I miss? Brian, John, Frazier. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. All right. Thank you, Richard. All right. All right. Yeah. Good night, John. Thank you. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in for this test. I'm going to go listen to this to see if how this sounds so you guys aren't trolling me. So, thank you guys for tuning in and we'll be back soon. So, thank you guys. Have a great rest of your evening.